I made my first million at 30 by working myself to the bone. I made my first billion at 65 by learning how to do absolutely nothing. You want to know the difference? You think there's some secret, some complex formula I discovered in my old age? The secret is this: I stopped trying to be brilliant. I just focused on not being an idiot. And it turns out that's the rarest skill in the world. Everyone you know, everyone on the news, every so-called guru is desperately searching for the next big thing, the hidden gem, the 10-bagger, the perfect market timing. They're looking for a key to a door that doesn't exist. There is no secret. There is only a list of colossally stupid things that people do over and over again throughout history. The real path to wealth isn't about what you do. It's about what you don't do. If you can just avoid the landmines, you win the war by default. And the stakes, they couldn't be higher. I have personally watched men with IQs of 160 go broke. I've seen brilliant innovators lose their family fortunes. They weren't dumb. They were just stupid in a few specific, predictable ways. Today, I'm going to give you the list, the 4 lazy strategies that the truly wealthy use to stay wealthy. These aren't about action, they're about inaction. And if you're making even one of these mistakes, you're not just losing money, you're losing time. And you can't earn back time. Let's begin. The first and most catastrophic mistake is this: you are trying to solve every puzzle. You see a new industry, a new technology, a complex financial product, and you think it's your job to figure it out. That's idiotic, completely and utterly insane. It's a game rigged against you, and playing it is a form of financial self-harm. I, on the other hand, have a very simple system. It's called the too-hard pile. If I get a business proposal, an investment idea, a stock pitch, and I can't understand the fundamental way it makes money in under 5 minutes, it goes directly into the too-hard pile. I don't look at it again. I don't feel bad about it. I don't worry that I'm missing out. I'm not smart enough to play in every game, so I only play in the easy ones. You want to see what happens when geniuses refuse to have a too-hard pile? Look at long-term capital management in 1998. This wasn't a fund run by idiots. It was run by Nobel Prize-winning economists, the smartest guys in the room. They had computer models so complex that only they could understand them. They were making tiny bets on bond arbitrage, leveraged to the absolute hilt. They thought they had eliminated risk. They thought they were smarter than the market. And for a while, it worked. Until it didn't. A Russian debt default, a single event they hadn't predicted, caused their entire house of cards to collapse. They lost $4.6 billion in a matter of months and nearly took the entire global financial system down with them. They were brilliant, but they were playing a game that was too hard. And here you are. You spend 4 hours on a Saturday researching the best $50 toaster oven, reading every review, comparing every feature. But you'll take $10,000 of your hard-earned money and throw it at a biotech company working on synergistic protein cascades because some guy on the internet used a rocket emoji. You're playing in the too-hard pile. You're destined to lose. So here's your rule. A simple test. It's called the 10-year-old test. Before you invest a single dollar, ask yourself, could I explain this idea to a reasonably intelligent 10-year-old and have them understand how it makes money? Not the technical jargon, the basic concept. Does it sell coffee? Does it rent cars? Does it own buildings? If you can't pass that test, sell it. Your homework is simple. Tonight, open your portfolio. Look at every single holding. Find one, just one, that you can't honestly explain to a child. And tomorrow morning, sell it. I don't care if it's up or down. Get it out of your life. You've just taken your first step out of the too hard pile. This brings us to the second mistake, the one that keeps the middle class in a state of perpetual emotion with nothing to show for it. Mistake number 2, you think activity equals progress. This is, without a doubt, the dumbest idea in the history of finance. It's a lie sold to you by brokers and financial media who get paid when you transact. Your constant buying, selling, rebalancing, and worrying, it makes them rich. It makes you busy, and it makes you poor. My philosophy is different. I believe the real money is not made in the buying or the selling. It's made in the waiting, in the sitting. My favorite holding period is forever. I want to buy a wonderful business at a fair price, and then do the hardest thing in the world. Nothing. Let the business grow. Let the dividends compound. Let the world's natural tendency toward progress do the heavy lifting for me. You want to see what manic activity gets you? Just look at the dot-com bubble of 1999 and 2000. Everyone was a day trader. People quit their jobs to stare at stock charts all day. Pets.com, Webvan, GeoCities, companies with no profits, no business model, just a .com in their name, were soaring to billion-dollar valuations. People were trading in and out, making fortunes on paper one day, losing it all the next. The volume was deafening. The activity was frantic. And what was the result? An estimated $5 trillion of investor wealth evaporated, wiped out, gone. All that activity, all that brilliant trading led to ruin. Meanwhile, what happened to the person who just bought Coca-Cola stock in 1988 and went on a 20-year vacation? They became astonishingly wealthy by doing nothing. You're acting like a farmer who plants a seed and then digs it up every morning to see if it's growing. You're killing the very thing you're trying to nurture. Your obsession with checking your portfolio every day, with reacting to every news headline. It's not investing. It's a nervous tic. Here is your rule. It's called the 72-hour test. The next time you feel that overwhelming urge to act, that panic to sell because the market is down, or that greed to buy because something is soaring, force yourself to do nothing. For 72 hours, 3 full days, just watch. See if the world ends. It won't. You'll realize that 99% of what feels urgent in the moment is just noise. Your homework for this week is a challenge to your sanity. Go into your phone settings and turn off all notifications from your brokerage and news apps for 7 days. No price alerts. No breaking news banners. Starve your brain of the constant, useless stimulus. You will be amazed at how much calmer, clearer, and ultimately, how much better of an investor you become when you stop mistaking motion for achievement. Now for the third mistake. This one is more subtle. It's a mental model failure that infects almost everyone. Mistake number 3. You are obsessed with figuring out how to succeed. Wrong question. Completely backward. It's like trying to navigate a minefield by looking for the one safe path. A much better strategy is to simply have a map of all the mines and not step on them. My entire life, I have operated on a simple principle from the great mathematician Carl Jacobi. Invert. Always invert. If you want to help India, don't ask, how can I help India? Ask, what is doing the most damage in India, and how can I avoid it? If you want to be happy, don't ask what makes people happy. Ask what makes people miserable and avoid it like the plague. And if you want to be rich, don't ask, what do rich people do? Ask, what makes people go broke? And how can I make sure I never ever do those things? The map of financial ruin is well documented. It's leverage. It's over-diversification into things you don't understand. It's paying high fees. It's emotional decision-making. It's fraud. Just study the great disasters, Look at Enron in 2001. If you were trying to find the next Microsoft, you would have been confused. But if you inverted and asked what would a fraudulent, doomed company look like, Enron was a textbook case. Unintelligible financial statements, arrogance from management, a business model that no one could explain, a mountain of off-balance sheet debt. By simply looking for the failure signals, the big, obvious red flags, you would have known to stay a million miles away. You don't need to be a genius to see a house on fire. You are trying to build a skyscraper by guessing where the support beam should go. It's a fool's errand. I, on the other hand, just get a list of all the ways a building can collapse. Fire, earthquake, faulty foundation, bad materials, and I make damn sure my building does none of those things. What's left standing is, by definition, a strong building. So, your new rule is called the pre-mortem. Before you make any significant financial decision, buying a house, making a large investment, starting a business, sit down for 15 minutes. And imagine it's a year from now, and the decision has been an unmitigated disaster, a total failure. Now, write down all the reasons why it failed. Be specific. I ran out of cash. The market turned against me. I didn't understand the competition. I paid too much. This is not a pessimistic exercise. It is a strategic one. You have just created a checklist of the landmines you need to avoid. Your homework is to apply this immediately. Take one financial goal you have for this year. Instead of writing a to-do list, I want you to write a NOT to-do list. What are the 3 stupidest things you could do that would guarantee you fail to reach that goal? Write them down on a sticky note and put it on your bathroom mirror. Look at it every single day. Avoiding stupidity is a far more powerful strategy than chasing brilliance. And that leads us to the 4th and final lazy strategy, the one that requires the most humility. Mistake number 4. You think your circle of competence is a universe. It's not. For most of us, it's a small pond, and that is perfectly okay. The game is not won by having the biggest circle. It's won by knowing precisely where the edge of your circle is, and never, ever stepping outside of it. My partner, Warren Buffett, and I, we've made our fortune by saying no. We have said no to airlines, to technology in the early days, to commodities, to countless industries that we simply didn't understand. Did we miss some winners? Of course. We missed them all. We missed Google. We missed Amazon. And it doesn't bother us in the slightest. Because for every Google we missed by staying inside our circle, we avoided 100 pets.com mess. We're not trying to be smart. We're just trying not to be stupid. The history of business is a graveyard of companies that strayed outside their circle of competence. Look at the AOL-Time Warner merger in 2000. It was hailed as the deal of the century. The king of new media, AOL, buying the king of old media, Time Warner. What could go wrong? Everything. The cultures clashed. The technologies were incompatible. The synergies never materialized. AOL's management knew nothing about running movie studios or magazines. Time Warner's management didn't understand the internet. It was a disaster born of arrogance. Each company stepped outside of what it knew, and the result was the destruction of nearly $200 billion in shareholder value. And you're doing the same thing on a smaller scale. You're a dentist who's an expert in his field, but you're taking investment advice on cryptocurrency from your nephew. You're a brilliant software engineer, but you're buying a portfolio of rental properties in a city you've never even visited. You are a world-class heart surgeon who suddenly thinks he's an expert on oil futures because he read an article. Stay in the operating room. That's where you have an edge. Here's a rule, the teach a test. Before you invest in a company or an industry, Ask yourself this: could I give a coherent 30-minute lecture on this topic to a room full of smart college students without using any notes? Could I confidently field their questions? If the answer is a hesitant maybe or a clear no, you are outside your circle. Don't invest. It's that simple. Your final piece of homework: take out a piece of paper, write down 3 subjects, just 3, that you understand better than 90% of the population. It could be your profession. It could be a lifelong hobby. It could be the local real estate market in your own neighborhood. From now on, your best investment ideas must come from this list, and this list only. Define your pond and become the biggest fish in it. So there you have it, the 4 pillars of wealthy laziness. 1. Have a too hard pile and use it ruthlessly. 2. Practice weaponized patience. Activity is the enemy of returns. 3. Invert. Always invert. Avoid ruin, and success will take care of itself. And 4. Know the edge of your circle of competence and never leave it. This isn't a get-rich-quick plan. You will not be on a yacht next year by following this advice. But in 20 years, or 30, when the brilliant traders have all blown up and the chasers of complexity have all gone broke, you'll be the one who owns the yacht club. They'll be asking you for a loan. Look, most people who started this video are already gone. They clicked away 3 minutes in, looking for a hot stock tip or a shortcut. The fact that you're still here, that tells me something. It tells me you're serious. You're not looking for magic. You're looking for wisdom. This channel isn't about hype. It's not about predicting the next market crash or the next big thing. It's about enduring, timeless principles that have been proven to work for centuries. It's boring, and it's effective. If that's what you've been looking for, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. That's all from me. Now go be lazy. It's the smartest thing you'll do all day.